some artists from this area that took a big global step, but like didn't really do the big local, groundwork. And it's like you should always be able to go back home.
For
And you
sure.
should always be able to like hang back home and chill in your home and go play. Nothing that it's not about what's on you, it's about what's in you. Swear to Nipsey Hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like what's on me is not gonna change what comes out of me and the energy I put out. So then I'm never gonna get it because I'm saying that you're literally putting the action behind it. But if you're like, I always get better, I always do better, I always bounce back. I didn't already bounce back. It's already lit. Like
You good.
it's been lit.
Yeah, for sure. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said you're up and I'm up. Y'all now tuned in to the Grind Hard Dream Big Show. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I got a special guest in the building. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Man, let's go. You're one of the best intros.
Oh, I appreciate
For
that.
real, for real. What's going on, friends? It's DJ Bree Mafia, aka OG Bree.
That's all right. What's up with it though? As far as your upbringing, like your childhood, like in the DMV, how was that for you?
So I am originally from Delaware. I guess like I don't really talk about. Okay, so it's been 10 years I've been DJing, and I think that like the 10 years I've been here, people just don't know like my actual like real background. I feel like they just know like from college up to how I got here. So I was born in North Carolina.
Okay.
I was born in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. My dad's side is from North Carolina. My mom's side is from Philly. So my great grandmother in Philly got real sick, and my grandmother moved me, my uncle, and my aunt. I'm sorry, me, my uncle, my mom, and my grandma. We all moved to Delaware. My aunt was living in D.C. in grad school, or eventually went to grad school in D.C. Then my grandfather also ended up moving to Maryland. So 4 years old till I was 18, I was in Delaware. So all my schooling, pre-K, kindergarten, elementary, middle school, high school, Delaware. And then I went to college in North Carolina because I had family in North Carolina. So that's how I ended up there. But then I moved to the DMV after school because now half my family was in the DMV. So, my upbringing in Delaware, I would say has everything to do with why I'm the DJ that I am. I'm really grateful for being from Delaware. I know I get a lot of flack on Twitter for being proud about that, but like my community driven roots have everything to do with where I'm from. I'm grateful for my childhood, having Boys and Girls Club, doing organized sports, having multiple safe spaces for us to be teenagers, partying. My uncle's a DJ. So that has everything to do with like why my DJ career is what it is, because it's like I came from that. So when I come here to the DMV and see that there isn't as much, community driven events or just kind of curations or just anything or just spaces, for the youth, for us adults, that has everything to do with it. And so I've been here since 2015, and I have just done my best to just educate myself on the area, bring my attributes from where I'm from and like bring them here. So that's honestly how I would describe, my upbringing in Delaware and then here to the DMV and how I got here.
For sure, for sure. No, I love that because you sat there and said like everything and just wearing it with a badge of honor. I feel like a lot of times some people are like, yeah, I was from here, but I ain't. You know what I mean?
I'm
It's like,
and people. I got. It's funny because when I was in Delaware, like growing up in Delaware, I would say I was from North Carolina, because then to me I was, because I was always in North Carolina. Every summer that I lived in Delaware, I went back to North Carolina to stay with my dad's side of his family. I did that from 4 till I was 16 years old. So every summer I was in North Carolina. So I can come back to Delaware like I was with my family in North Carolina, like, because that's where I was born. But then when I went to school in North Carolina, I couldn't say that I was from North Carolina because I had no education prior. I didn't have a city to claim, a community that was rooted in being from North Carolina. Everything about me was from Delaware. So then I had to accept, that I was, because growing up I never said, I was like, I'm from North Carolina. I'm not from Delaware. When I got to A&T, I was like, oh no, I'm from Delaware.
got you.
So yeah, and I think that, a lot of people don't I'm proud to be from Delaware, just straight up.
For sure, for sure. Nah, definitely. So, did you have any like hobbies as a kid? Like, did you find like things that you were interested in, like those type of things?
I was an outside kid.
Okay.
So I think that has everything to do with why I also don't really watch any TV. I don't watch TV. I don't watch movies. I don't watch. It's hard for me to watch any kind of videos. Honestly, I don't watch YouTube like videos. It's hard for me to watch tutorials. I spend a lot of time outside, and the only times I was inside if it was like raining or if I was sick. Those are the times I'd like, or if it was just it was like a school night. That's when I probably sit and maybe watch a little bit of TV. But because I was an outside kid, like sports, those are my biggest things. Like I play basketball, I play volleyball, flag football, and soccer, all with organized sports at Boys and Girls Club. And then music was always part of me. My uncle being a DJ, my mom has a great taste for music, had a super crazy CD collection growing up. And then I got into MySpace and like coding when I was 12. So then that led to like my graphic design. So honestly, everything I've been doing as a kid, I'm just one big ass kid now because I'm still doing the exact same things.
For sure, for sure. And I love how you said that because I think now that we fast forward, right, we realize how all these things are manifesting right in front of our eyes, okay? Coding, graphic design, MySpace, then of course Facebook, Twitter, all
Social
this stuff.
media, like, yeah, I started on social media when I was 12. I had a Zanga, and the Zanga was like MySpace. Then we were like in fifth, sixth grade with Zangas, and we were in 321 chat. We were in like Bebo, Habbo Hotel. Like, I was on the internet. I wasn't that big into Sims, but I was more of a like, wow, you live in California? I live in Delaware. Like, I actually have a really good friend that I met on MySpace. His name's Devonte. And we are both Capricorns. We're both the same age, but he's originally from Baltimore. And my peoples they still live in Largo. So I always thought, like, Baltimore's not far from Largo. And I used to come like, y'all should take me to meet my MySpace friend. They're like, we're not taking you to Baltimore. And I'm like, it's not that far, though. Then he ended up moving to Jacksonville, Florida, and I didn't meet him in person until the summer we graduated high school, which was summer 2011. But I had known him since like the 8th grade. He was my MySpace friend for 4 years before we met in person.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's really, really
I'm big
cool.
on that. I don't know. I don't know kids probably like nowadays because you can FaceTime and like you can see a person and stuff. But I was big on the like trusting in the DMs. Like, oh man, can we meet you? Send me pictures or something. Like, wow, you know what I'm saying? So.
For sure. Yeah, and I think it's different now. So as you like transition like the college life, like when did you know like okay, I wanted to try like DJing and like how was that experience?
It's so crazy because college is honestly like what kind of shifted my perspective going back to being from Delaware, right? So I thought, for me, there was really no clear distinction of like rich and poor in Delaware. So, and I thought because we just were like such a small state, we were lit. Like I said, like we partied. Like I'm beer pong flip cup. I got pictures of me drinking Four Locos out of glass bottles like from high school. So I'm thinking like if we're this small town in this small state, things gotta be more lit than this, right? Get to A&T and I'm like, y'all are not lit. Like they are lit there because they were never lit in high school. And to me, I'm like, what y'all do in high school? You didn't party and drink a couple beers, like some beer pong flip cup, like damn, we was really kind of lit in Delaware. So like that's where I got the name OG Bree from.
Okay.
And because I had Twitter already, I had 1,000 plus followers at 18 going into college in 2011. But then it was like instead of people asking who I was, which is what I wanted to be, like forget the social media. Like I'm in college, I'm here to learn, I'm really here to become the person I want to become. And it was what's your Twitter and like not what's your real name or not like who you are. And I'm like, man, I've been on Twitter. Like I'm trying to get active, you know what I'm saying? So then as I'm navigating the party scenes, again, back being from Delaware, lit, right? Go to the parties, I'm like, this is not lit. Like, y'all don't understand you're missing a pocket of music. You're missing a pocket of just overall synergy. And I've just felt like I know so much about music since being on the internet so much. If DJs are all playing the same thing at these parties, how are people ever going to hear new music? The average person doesn't know how to consume new music. So that's what really made the DJing kind of take off and just noticing that like it's the energy is missing something. I was YouTube DJing at first, like apartment parties in UNCG and A&T, and that's how I really started for real.
For sure. Because, like I said, when we met, we linked up in 2015. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And,
literally,
like,
I just
literally,
moved here.
yeah. And it was just the whole notion of, like, yo, I DJ, I want to do this. I'm like, all right, bet. I'm rapping at the time. I'm like, all right, bet. Say
I was
word.
saying that I did a panel for it was a creatives panel, Elevate diverse creatives panel at UMD, and I let them know that, like, I feel like I brought you up on this panel. I'm sure I did. And I'm like, I was telling people I was a DJ and didn't even own a controller. I was DJing off YouTube, and I hadn't really like touched a controller, owned a laptop to even do it. But I came to Buffalo and was like, yeah, I'm a DJ. I had not even DJed yet, but I was just saying that I was.
Right.
Literally what you said.
Yeah, stepping out and knowing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like, that minute, I know, like, Cafe Asia, it was just new for me, but I'm like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
that was crazy. Off Bucks. That
and
was
then
probably
it was
like,
like,
what, 2-3 months later? It wasn't too long after.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then there was Fillmore and then all of that. And I'm just like, yo, it's up.
Yeah.
It's up from there.
I was going to build a backyard band, like, in less than a year, which was, like, major for me. So.
And then, like, navigating through the spaces, I feel like that's always good. So, like, how have you been able to, like, network from that moment on?
Honestly, like, the best networking for me is, like, getting my feet on the ground. I think, especially, didn't have a following. I didn't have an Instagram when I first moved here. Like I said, I was real against social media because, like, early on, I started to see what it's starting to become into, and it wasn't this tool that I really could utilize anymore for the real, like, relationships that I wanted to build. So I'm like, if everybody's on Twitter, share my music, versus, like, talking to people are just, like, not as personal anymore. You don't have people that are willing to say, hey, how are you, and introduce themselves genuinely without wanting something in return. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I went to an industry mixer. Man, whose industry mixer was it? Might have been Def Jam. I'm not sure. They don't even have things like this anymore in the DMV. Went to this industry mixer. Couple artists that were there. I know this one artist had a flash drive he was giving out that had his 3 singles on it. It was a clean version, explicit version, and I think maybe like the acapella or something for remixes. Right. But doing things like that, I met lifelong, like, partners and just people that I work with. But, like, and I'm not from here, so because I didn't have a following, how else was I gonna get people to book me? So that's why working in Buffalo Wild Wings was so great. Because it was like, I obviously was not from here. Everybody always said at my table was like, you're not from here. And then just being like, hey, I'm a DJ, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Half my bookings that first year DJing were from Buffalo Wild Wings guests, like, customers. So literally, like, you just have to really get your feet on the ground. Like, for a person like me from Delaware.
Right. Nah, and, like, for me, I wasn't even really heavy on the music scene either, but I remember, like, serving tables and literally just giving the tapes out. Mm-hmm. Literally, and we was just doing that together, literally working crazy shifts.
Have
and
to,
making money.
And that's really how things started to move, because it's like being personable, telling your guests, like, hey, and just not even on no corny type time, like, just be like, hey, check me out, and all works out.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, I know Tony Reyes, he hopped in there, God rest his soul. And then I remember I told him, and then I did a competition, and I got my song on the radio. Mm-hmm. It's on the stream for that.
Yeah.
Like, yo, that was fire. But yeah, you got to put the work in. And I think that's what it was, literally, in networking. And I like how you sat there and said, like, what those events used to be. Because I remember going to, like, mixers and things like that. You play your music, you share, you build your community. Mm-hmm. Everybody would sit there and go to shows and not necessarily rap and roll. Right. So it's different.
It's definitely different. And I wish we had more, I try to throw the little industry mixers, but, like, people definitely attend more things if it had, like, a label behind it or a radio behind it and the right socialites and curators and DJs, to get behind it. But it can happen again, but it's definitely not what it used to be.
For sure. So, like, as you are, like, navigating in the space and you're, like, networking and building, like, what is your advice, like, with, like, other artists that you, like, DJ for, things like that? Because, we have so many artists in the DMV. Mm-hmm. I lost track. I don't know the number, to be honest.
So like, many artists. I feel like my best advice is, like, just be the artist you want to be. Too many people are worried about if their music will get played this many times, if people will like it. I think that, especially in this area in the DMV, I don't know why people are so persistent on the standard of what a successful artist is here. Free car music isn't going to make it. The DMV flow is not ever gonna be nationwide, worldwide. It's never gonna be a sound that you hear everywhere. You gotta sell out shows to be an artist. Be the artist you want to be, you know. And I think that if that's the standard for an artist, then every artist would be the same. So it's like, you know, Left sold out the Pocket, you know what I'm saying? And granted, whatever, it doesn't matter, he sold it out. Doesn't matter what bigger size of venue, he sold it out. He had that many people that wanted to come and support his artistry. So don't get discouraged, and don't mimic what other people are doing. Don't listen to other people saying, damn, I didn't sell the show this year, I must not be great. Or damn, I didn't get over 100 plays on Spotify this month. No, if you had 5 monthly listeners, that is great, you know, and it only goes up from there. But it's just people in this area have a really good way of discouraging the artists here from keeping like going, like
Yeah,
to keep going forward, you know. So yeah, that's the best like advice. Be the artist you want to be the DJ you want to be. And people are going to gravitate just because you're doing you, because not everybody is doing them. They're doing what others already do, or what they see other people doing.
for sure. And I agree with that. To piggyback off of that, I think the reason why like you're unique in this space is because you're not only DJing, but you're also advocating, right? Because like some people are like, all right, bet I got a gig or I do this X, Y, Z, but to describe that feeling, because I think that female DJs don't get the credit that they deserve. So to see you flourish, to see other female DJs flourish, you know, it's a beautiful thing.
Thanks.
And it seems to be hard in a, you know, I'm gonna just be real, in a male dominated space, because even in the DMV prior to it, it was like, yo, it's a lot of male DJs, but at the same time there's female DJs out here that are working too, and they deserve their just due. And what I mean is just due as in just the opportunity, a shot, because you never
Yeah.
know what they could do.
I'm gonna piggyback on the male DJs, because so DJing, there to me there are several types of DJs. And from my perception of DJ culture growing up as a kid, DJs were for community. DJs were the middleman between labels, radio, and community. And so they had to be this person who's, okay, this is what's going on locally. Every DJ is playing local music. Think about how music expanded outside of local artistry, just like how I got a bunch of, you know, negative comments about the 50 Cent and the club take. I'm going to clarify on this. Music is rooted in consumption. Just because a song may have commercial success does not mean that it was liked or played everywhere. You're not forced to listen to things. So when I say liked and played, I'm saying me pressing the play button. Me saying, if I don't like it, I'm not playing it, is what I'm saying. So just like, for instance, Tommy Richmond, $1 Million Baby, commercial success. But there's so many people that don't like that song. So years from now, someone's going to get a Twitter and say, $1 Million Baby was not liked and played everywhere. And someone's going to say, oh, it's a commercial success, just like in the club. So back to DJs playing local music. DJs are in community. So I'm a DJ that's not for me. I'm not a DJ for self. I'm a DJ for other people. So, you know, and some DJs are entertainers. Some DJs just want to, you know, they want to have the big crowds, and they want to be in the videos, and they want to be in the pictures and want to look cute and be seen. Respectfully, nothing against that. But there are levels to what kind of DJ you want to be. I have no interest in doing big festivals and, you know what I'm saying, doing like lit boiler rooms with people around me and stuff. I just want to create great experiences and share something that may be new, because I don't think people really have great experiences anymore. Like I asked my homeboy today, like, what was the greatest experience from the party last night? You know what I'm saying? If you're not being able to come home and have those moments of like, remember that part where you heard that transition, or remember that part where that girl was just dancing so lit, remember, like, you know, then that's the artistry of like me as a DJ. Memorable experiences and being community driven and being very selfless.
No, I like that. The selfless and building the experience. Because I think, you know, I've been to a lot of parties. And yeah, I know I hear the same songs over and over again, right? But it's what do you remember from that particular point, or that
Exactly.
person or whatever like that. So I definitely agree with that. So like throughout that all, like how do you I guess, navigate in the space now because it weighs heavy on everybody's mental?
So like now, luckily, I'm 10 years DJing. I'm not really trying to DJ as much. I think that there are so many DJs now, right? That instead of me thinking it is competition based off of how many DJs are around, I have to evolve as a DJ, right? So if I did parties before, I'm not about to keep doing parties. It's not gonna elevate me as a DJ. So now I'm like, all right, especially in the DMV, we've proved the talent in the DMV now. We've proved we could sell out shows. We proved that we got the content, the videos, the music, the visuals. So now what can I do as a DJ, right? So now I want to be behind the scenes. Now I want to help you curate your show. I want to help you coordinate the run of show. I want to communicate with the venue staff about visuals, lighting, timing, who we're working with, who's our manager for the night, our bartender for the night, security. There are not a lot of people that can help facilitate those things, you know what I'm saying? Because it depends on what kind of DJ you are. So it's like because I've done parties, I've done shows, we're there now. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to keep community stagnant. So like what are we gonna do to evolve and elevate? And in order for them to do that, I have to do it too. I'm not gonna hold you. I think a lot of DJs are the reason that some of the energy is stuck where it is because music is supposed to progress you. That's why I'm not really big on nostalgia because it's like you hear music over. Yeah, granted, you'll hear those same feelings, but how are you going to make space for new feelings? Or what's going to be your new nostalgia? Because something has to be nostalgia to you 20 years from now that came out today. But if you're still listening to things from 1992, you're not making room for that new nostalgia right now in 2025.
For sure. No, I agree. I like that because I've always sat there and said you're more than a DJ because
Thanks.
you have a creative mind. It's like, okay, bet I could be it. Once you're a creative, you're a creative.
The OG and OG Bree stands for originally gifted. Does
I
not
like that.
mean gangster.
I like that. I like that. And I think that as a creative, you always want to find ways to improve. You know, like I said, whatever you do, like this platform itself is just like to inspire, uplift, and
Look at
motivate
how
the
your
next.
platform is like, the formatting of how it was when we did it. We were sitting at a table. We
Yeah,
looked like we were getting ready to tell the news.
right.
And now we're looking like we're about to drink coffee. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
saying? Like you evolve with your following, with your brand.
Yeah.
It's all about evolution.
Yeah, for sure, and expanding. And I think having those conversations on how we can grow,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that that's what we need. So creating those safe spaces, and I'm just glad to do it.
Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
doing a great job.
I appreciate that. So with it all, like, what does your self care look like? Because you're gigging, you're booking. Like, what does that kind of like look like? Because I'm like every other week, I'm like, yo, she's gigging.
I
Like,
gotta be honest, man. I just turned 32, and I don't like being alone. Like I don't. I like to be around friends. Granted, I will work on being more motivated when I'm by myself, but there should be no reason for me to isolate. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I'm able to share space with friends and we're both, completing things and we're working. I like working cohesively with other people, but we don't necessarily have to be engaging with each other. We can be in the same room working on separate things. So like, for me, I'm real big on like making sure that people always around me. Like that's my self care and giving. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes me feel better to give back because I know the universe is gonna bless me. Sometimes you just kind of know what you were put on this earth to do, and I've never taken an L from giving. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe I thought that I did, but in hindsight, never. You know what I'm saying? Especially when my intent is good and it's pure, it's genuine. If you're on this earth doing the work that you're supposed to be doing, the universe is gonna bless you tenfold. So self care for me, I have a Monday rule where I don't do anything on Mondays. Every job I've ever had, I tell them I can't work Mondays because I'm a DJ and I think it's great for me to decompress. And that for me is checking emails, checking on friends over the weekend, grounding myself, taking care of my adult life. And then my other self care is actually being around my friends. Like, I don't like to be alone. I'm every day, what you doing? Where you at? Pull up, come hang out, let's DJ, like let's go to this place, let's go to this show, or. So that's my self-care regime, and also just staying positive. Not on Twitter right now. um I just tweeted the other day how I've finally mastered waking up and saying who wants to hug versus who want to fight. And I'm real big on that this year in 2025. So just staying positive, and I think everybody kind of knows. I have so many interviews now, you know what I'm saying, about like my place and space in the DMV and my thoughts, that I don't really feel the need to have any of those, not arguments or just conversations anymore about how I feel. And I'm in the position now to actually do the work. And like, that's the self care, is like being able to do the work and doing it with others.
No, I love that. I love all of that for you because it just sounded like growth, self reflection, hard conversations,
Mm-hmm.
things like that, and just reality with self. Because I think sometimes we get so hard on ourselves.
For
We're like, wait,
sure.
we're the only person that feels this way, and it's not. That's not the case. It's
It's
just
not.
the simple fact, like you try so hard. So I would definitely say self care for me. I like taking walks without my phone.
That's a good
It's
one.
really cool taking walks without my phone, just decompressing, not telling myself I am socially unavailable.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that, the work that we do, we can get caught up in it so much
Yeah.
that it's like, we can't do that. And then taking myself out, like I'll go to a restaurant, eat food at the restaurant, not have my phone, chill,
Your self
relax.
care is really just yourself.
Yeah.
It's so crazy how my self care is like, self care to me is like being with,
No, but I struggled with that. I
Oh,
felt
for
like that. I
real?
did. I
Okay,
struggled
okay,
with that.
okay.
You're not by yourself with that. I
Okay,
felt like I
okay,
always
okay.
had to be around others.
Mm.
But then it was like, all right, you know what? This, past couple of months, it was like, you know what? I can go to the movies by myself. I can do this.
Well,
by
it's like
myself.
I do things by myself,
Right.
but like, I have no problem like going out by myself.
That's good.
But when it comes to being productive, like, because I feel like self care can also be like, progressing too. Like, so sometimes I work way better when my friends are around because I'll get more anal if I'm by myself.
Gotcha.
So, like, for instance, like my DJ mixes, right? If I'm by myself and I DJ, I will start it over and over and over till I think it's perfect. Sometimes 20, 50 times, right? But if my friends are there, I'll treat them like a real audience. I'm like, my friends are here. I want to show off for them. I'm going to do the best I can and like press play and go through it. And so that's why it's like my friends help motivate me, and I can motivate myself too. But I think that just because it has everything to do with kind of DJ I am, I work best around people.
That's good, and I think that preps you too, right?
That's
you're
right.
Like, I bet.
It's also why I can't do any of those like DJ sets that people do, like when they get in their studios and they make stuff for reels, and I'll do one, but like organically, like I don't have to plan an elevator shoot and have people dance around me. Like I'll do it right in the house, like
for sure.
That's what I enjoy for real.
Yeah, creating those experiences, like you said there and said, and I think it comes back full circle, And I think that it's also dope that you said that because it also reminded me of the pivot that you made, which I am extremely happy that you made with For the DMV.
Oh.
Because I think that was, for one, I'm gonna say it was monumental. I don't care what nobody say. It was monumental. The reason being is because you're in the mix of a pandemic and you're still trying to find a way to sharpen the craft, and you found a way to do it and execute it tenfold to the point where people still remember.
It's crazy. It wasn't even for me. It was for the pandemic made us sit down and like really see things around us, right? So me and Trilla were active in the scene, then we were doing the local shows and local parties, and I didn't realize how immense the scene was or how people felt overlooked or felt like their music wasn't getting out there. So when everything shut down, I was like, oh man, I was able to see. And I also don't listen to the radio. So I was able to listen to the outlets that were attempting to put artists on and their formatting and how they were doing it. I made observations, market research, and I created my own idea. And I'm like, okay, I don't think this is what artists need. I don't think they need radio DJs that don't really come to local shows or do local curations tell these artists what they should do just on the radio when they don't even see you. So I'm like, well, if they want their music out there and I have a platform, I'm just gonna put their music in mixes and then put it in a way that's like the transitions are so like, oh shoot, I didn't realize, oh man, this is great. Like maybe you wouldn't have been as receptive to the song if you just heard an artist play it like, hey, listen to the song for me, right? Like, hey, hear this out, right? Versus somebody puts a mix on. Oh damn, what was the next song? Oh, it's literally like curating these, like, these pieces of art. And then, because I went to school in graphic design, my best friend Mark went to school in graphic design too. We're making individual art. You're seeing that, you go on artist page and see that, like, they don't get cool promo from radio stations or whatever to have their music featured or things of that nature. So we created personable experiences where the artists felt like they were being heard, and in return we gave them something to promote themselves and said, hey, you don't have to post this if you don't want to, but it's there if you want to tell your following, like, hey, you're on a For the DMV mix. So it kind of went crazy with those. There's so many For the DMV mixes. I was actually gonna start For the DMV again, but Zelly passed, and it kind of just shifted a little bit because I met Zelly before the DMV. So that's all I could think about trying to do the mix just recently. And I haven't even downloaded a single song, I could be honest. But that's how I met Zelly, featuring a song with him and Smack on, I think, the very first For the DMV audio festival. So this one hit different because that was the reason. Yeah, so I'll eventually get to it. I dropped the mix today, so progress. But I know what For the DMV has to do this year. I think the mix is just to be like, hey, friends, if you missed it, it's here. But it's going to be way more than mixes this year.
For sure. And then, take as much time as you need to.
I appreciate
that. Because I think it's like you want to be in the right space. You want to make sure that art is intentional, I think. And a lot of people, that's my advice to a lot of artists out here. Just be intentional about your art. Like, your goal is your goal. Don't worry about what anybody else says or whatever. Be intentional about your art. So when it comes back full circle, you'll be in the right headspace, and it's going to do numbers. It's going to go crazy.
Facts.
Because one thing I know is when you put your mind to it and you literally just start hitting that gear, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
It's already written.
Yeah, literally, for sure. So, like, even with building community, right, I want to let people know that building community is so important because you never know. You just have to start just having that leap of faith or whatever it is that you want to do. And for me, like I said, community is everything. And like your mental, you have to have people that can, be good for your mental, that are feeding into your craft and what you're doing and pushing you forward.
Did you see my tweet about, like, that went viral where I was like, I want to write a thesis about why consuming new music is important?
I did see that.
So, like, my whole thing with For the DMV is local and global. Everybody always wants to be the next Drake or, the next big star, right? But it's like, yeah, become that big star, but what about locally, right? Like, I feel like there are definitely some artists from this area that took a big global step, but, like, didn't really do the big local, groundwork. And it's like, you should always be able to go back home. And you should always be able to, like, hang back home and chill in your home and go places. Like, in Atlanta, when I was there the last 6 months, like, I would see all my favorite rappers out all the time, just, like, hanging out, like, at clothing stores that operate as, like, studios or just bars and other shows. And I really, really wish that was more of, like, the artists here in the DMV. I think that, like, I know some DMV artists that absolutely step out for a lot of the shows, but I look forward to having more artists support more artists in 2025, and DJs too. I think that to be the DJ and artist that you are, you got to go and see other DJs and artists.
Fact, though.
You have to.
That part. I agree. I mean, because like I said, that is that support that you want. Like, I know I do community events, and there's other people that do community events, so I pull up and just see what they got going on and things like that. And I think that that's what happens, like, right now, especially for our youth. It's like, yo, they need us more than ever. So
for sure.
Like, yeah, okay. Creating these safe spaces so that they can be heard. They can learn life skills.
I'm working on an all-age show right now, actually. I think that's going to be my bigger thing, because I'm not going to hold you. Everybody wants to be able to smoke and to function. I'm going to have to spend a little money on if I want to get a space where people can freely 420 friendly smoke. But right now I'm going to work on an all-age event because, there used to be, like, all-age go-go's, right?
Yeah. Shout out to TJ.
With love, for sure. An atmosphere of culture for that to come back. But what the kids do love now is a lot of the local DMV artists.
For sure.
young and teenagers and adults,
For
even
sure.
me in my 30s. So, but I think an all age rap show that's really tastefully put together is the next step for me this year.
That's dope. I like that. Anyway, I could definitely
I've
go
never
along with
done an
that.
all age show. I don't think. I think they've all been 18 plus or 21 plus. So working on that this year and trying to get like cool, like I don't know about energy drinks because I want it to be like healthy, but like
Yeah, for sure.
something that's not like liquor sponsored,
Yeah,
weed
for sure.
sponsored.
Yeah,
Something that's all age kid friendly sponsor that's gonna make people come out alone, just not even off the artist too, just the whole activation as a whole.
for sure. No, that's dope. I think that's dope. I know from myself, definitely more engagements, more panels,
Say you
things
had
like
like
that.
your one of your community, days, right? And
Yeah,
then, hey, you guys, DJ Mafia's throwing a all age show. You're all free to come.
right,
Like that should be the thing, and you should get kids excited to. We did this awesome community day, and we networked. We met,
right,
now we get to party.
right,
Like now we get
exactly.
to, and it's a safe space, and so that there should be spaces for that.
Yeah, to reward them because at the end of the day, like it's an incentive, like, and that's what really drove the Dave and Buster's. So shout out to Kimberly Marshall because we did that. We looked at it
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, these kids are in school all year. Okay, in the summer they need some type of decompression. So let's do Dave and Buster's,
Yeah.
and then they have fun. They get the game cards. They go crazy with the games and
So
have fun.
back to what I was saying, Boys and Girls Club. When I was in Delaware, we went to the All Star game in Philly. We'd come to the Smithsonian in DC. We like even my field trips just in Delaware. I spent so much time in the DMV as a kid. We came here all the time. Like y'all have cool
Right.
museums and like so it's just so crazy to me that the youth that's not a thing anymore. Like these schools don't even have the budgets to. I remember having to ask my mom for field trip money. Like, do kids even do that still?
Yeah, they go on field trips,
But
but
like,
it's just,
where?
yeah, it'll be like to the museum, but like that one museum and
Like,
that's
they
it.
need to take. Like, I took a field trip in high school. I was in a business class, and my school had a bank in our high school. And we took. Our teacher disguised this as a business trip, but she took us to New York. We went to Canal Street. We shopped
That's
all
fire.
day.
That's fire.
She's like, we're gonna take a day to New York, like stock market. That was her. She dropped us off in Canal Street in Manhattan and said, meet back here at 2.
That's fire. That's fire, but that's the thing. But that's what I mean. The exposure part. That's what the kids need. Because a lot of kids, they just from around the way. They be around the way, but they never be taken out their way.
Telling you, I'm not gonna hold you. I thought about this hard yesterday. Like, if you see me do a hard stop from DJing and I become a teacher, don't be surprised. Like, seriously, I've always wanted to be a teacher, but like, and not even just like a subject, like music or just like DJ or just like, I think that kids need more people that look like me. It's okay to have tattoos. I worked 2 corporate beer jobs last year. Like, it doesn't take away from my experience. I think it's like nothing that is not about what's on you. It's about what's in you. It's where it's a Nipsey Hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like what's on me is not gonna change what comes out of me and the energy I put out. So that is my biggest thing this year. Is like if I do that, that's or even when I do decide to stop DJing, I want to be an educator in some capacity because like I said, we just lack personable people.
For sure. Well, stay close. I got you.
Okay.
Stay close. I got
Okay.
you. I'm serious. I'm
serious
serious
too.
because I'm working on some things. I'm
Okay.
working on some things. So for sure. So, what's the motivation that you would give to the people out there? The people that are struggling to like figure it out, their dream, their purpose. Like, what would you tell those people? Because there's a lot of people right now that are, probably on the fence. Like, I do want to do this, but I don't know.
I'm real big this year on saying that it's already done. So I think that my biggest advice for anybody that wants to do anything, say you already did it. So I DJ'd that sold out show already. I got those 500 plays on SoundCloud. I am the best DJ that I want to be, So I think that's really my motivation this year is like instead of being like, yeah, I hope I'll try. No, you will. You already did it. It's done. Like, so, instead of saying like, man, I think I want to DJ, I'm DJing. Not even saying I'm gonna start DJing. That's like me. I'm a DJ.
Facts.
Like I really truly believe you manifest your reality. The mind is, people underestimate how strong the mind is. I've been reading a lot about that lately. So if you want it, you have it already. If you thought it, you already created the idea and accomplished it. Maybe not in this physical realm yet, but in some realm in your head, you already did it because you brought it up.
Facts. No, I love that. I love that. I would just tell people like, you are dope. And like, don't
Literally,
forget, don't
right?
forget,
That's right
yeah,
now.
yeah,
Not
tell
saying
yourself that you're
I
dope.
think I'm dope
Nah,
or I
you know you're
want to
dope.
be dope.
Nah, you are.
You're dope.
Yeah, you're dope, and you're a vibe, and you're amazing. Like,
Literally,
I've been telling. That's my affirmation every day. I tell myself
literally,
that every day. Don't matter what it is, and just to keep going. Like, you
mm-hmm.
never know who's inspiring you, because you literally are the breakthrough.
Facts.
People do look at you and be like, "Yo, you winning, I'm winning," and that's why I tell all my homies like, "Yo, you're winning, that's my win too."
Just like in my song, is she a DJ? Is she a rapper? It don't matter because I already won. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what I am. I've already won in life and will keep winning.
For sure. And that's why I sit there and like, when you have your gigs and you're super duper happy, I'm super duper happy too. Cause it's like, yo, the win is right there. Be happy for your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Share their content. Like a share, a like, a post, a tweet. Like, marketing is free.
Goes a long way.
And it
Love
does.
when I post some music and people or DM me like, you put me on. This is hard. That's the point. Like,
yeah,
you're
you're supposed to put the people around you, you're supposed to put them in position, regardless. That's what a lot of people don't realize. I'm like, how you get to meet these people? We've all put each other in positions before. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, for me, like 2024 was crazy. 2025 is going to be only better. So now I'm saying, for sure.
Facts.
Well, I know one thing, one of the illest DJs ever.
Oh my God.
And I'm going to sit there and say that because the work ethic, crafting every single day, being able to mentally decompress, you are growing. I am super duper proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Really
and I'm just as proud as you, Jason. Oh my God, we've come so long.
Far.
It's been
a decade.
years.
A decade. A whole
decade. Is crazy.
It is though. But literally every year we've elevated.
Yes.
Every year it's been a bigger stage.
I've always said like I've never backtracked, like even with like jobs, right? So like started at Buffalo Wild Wings. I got my job at Orkin from Buffalo Wild Wings. The managers came in there. Then I was like, man, I want to bartend and serve again. Got my most paid ever bartending, and I was bartending and serving at this sports bar in DC. Then ended up going to the beer industry, and like even though my beer jobs have been different, I've never backtracked in any capacity, like DJ wise, beer wise, and that goes back to what you're saying. I am dope. I am. I have already accomplished those things, so it's like if I were to deter myself or be discouraged and be like, I'm never going to get another job as good, then I'm never going to get it, because I'm saying that. You're literally putting the action behind it. But if you're like, I always get better, I always do better, I always bounce back, I didn't already bounce back, it's already lit. Like,
you good.
It's been lit.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to keep being lit, for sure.
For sure.
We definitely are. Well, I appreciate you so much.
No, thanks so
taking
much
the time out for little me.
No, not big on you.
Big on me, big. You're right. Yeah, big dog.
You're a real big deal.
Yeah, seriously. So you already know, y'all, the harder you grind, the bigger you dream.
The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream.
I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. And we out.
Deuces. First interview, I didn't curse.